here we are.
Here we are.
So this conversation is so important because me and you represent a lot. You know, besides us, you know, having the same gay parents, we also have a friendship that stretches over a 10-year span or longer than that. And, you know, me being someone from the blue era and I was able to walk against the black era, I was still able to continue walking into the green era and beyond. And I can publicly say this. I've only had 2 people that I would consider a rivalry with. Kareem Cartier being one. And Meah, Mike Balenciaga, Miss Rahi, her former life. Aphrodite, her former life. So yeah, here we are.
And
So what was it like for you during your entry into ball?
so for me, I was introduced to ballroom through Jamal, our gay father, Jamal Balenciaga at the time.
Balenciaga, Milan.
He was talking about it. He's like, you know, you need to come out. You know, you can walk this category. It's called Faces. Another one called Pretty Boy Realin'. I was like, really? And he was like, yeah. He's like, I want to take you out one day. And I was like, okay. And then one day I was in a village and I met Ira and Ryu and Dante and all these Aphrodites that were just in the village that day. And it was just like, yes, you know, but Ira came and she's like, you're going to be the one. They're going to be my child. You know, and I'm just like, okay. You know, so I kept in contact with Ryu and Dante. And that was it. That's the start of my ballroom. I became an Aphrodite, became Mike Aphrodite, and they took me to my first ball. I went to my first ball with them. It was so crazy at the clubhouse. Then they took me to Philly. It was a Philly, Baltimore, we were in VC. I was traveling all over with them. And yeah.
And I remember when you walked the POCC ball, because not only did you did that night, I was actually thinking about doing that because it was for America's Next Top Model.
Yeah.
And you had the rhinestones going across your face from this side. You had that green shirt on with the right hand. And it was before you became a Balenciaga because you were still Aphrodite. And you and Randy was like next to the last battle. And then Randy had won over you. And then me and Randy was the last ones that I won over Randy. When would you say that our rivalry started?
I would say our rivalry probably started in 07, probably 07, 07, 08. I think was when I was
No, probably 06.
06.
06, probably 06.
It was like after
POCC ball, probably.
No, after that.
After that?
Yeah, I ain't got you before that.
No, I'm saying like after the POCC ball.
Oh yeah, after that, yeah.
Because the first time we battled was, people don't know this, at the Visu ball, because it was light versus brown versus dark versus exotic. You had one for exotic, I had one for brown, and then you had one over me that night for the cash, but I never claimed that because we had both won trophies. So I'm like, child, she ain't one over me, she just got the cash. But the first time that we actually met on the floor, I guess, would be...
That was the first time.
That was the first time that we met again at the Milan ball.
I know because I didn't want to walk light face. Boy, that would have always tried to categorize me as to being like, I was like, nah, I'm going to walk the exotic face.
And it's funny
that I walked exotic and beat everybody and won the cash.
It is funny.
I walked unpainted, always unpainted. My first years of coming into bar, I was always unpainted. Only person that tried to get paint on me was Ryu. But I was not. That wasn't me. I brought the butch to face in the beginning, you know.
And people like don't even understand this neither. Like back during that time, we used to hang out a lot with each other. And so like, you know, Meah would come to Philly, I would go to Jersey. Meah knew my mom, I knew Meah's mom, I knew Meah's sister. So like, it would be so crazy because when we finally did meet again on the floor, it was at the 2007 Milan Ball in Atlanta. It was me versus the House of Balenciaga.
Face of performance.
Like, no, not even face of performance. We talk about the regular Butch Queen face category. Because I had to battle all the Balenciagas. I remember they had made it hot because at that time, you know, you were making your name, and I had won over you, and then I won over that whole House of Balenciaga. And then like every time after that, it was like this pairing that was going. It was like the Mike and Jason, the Meah and Jason, like it was back and forth because I think one of our most heated battles
I think was in Philly.
Was in Philly.
We tore the whole like piano up. It was things on top. I was ripping it, throwing it.
Why did it become so volatile to your bad?
Because I'm emotional and I get aggressive. So like if you test my patience or my gangster, I'm gonna feel like I really gotta go in on it. And he would test me in ways where I felt like I really had to.
And the crazy part is she would make me walk because at the father and son ball, we had got dressed at my mom's house. Cause I think did I just come home from jail? I just came home from jail. And Meah was like, come on, we going to the ball. And I was like, child, I don't want to go. She's like, come on, we gonna go. We get there, we looking at everybody walking with Queen Face. And she's like, come on, we gonna just go out there and get a little get life. And I was like, girl, I don't want to walk. Cause she was like, come on, Jason. So we go out there, even though we're in two separate houses. And then, ironically, we end up being the final battle. And it ended up being the final battle. It was like, she put this thing in my face. I snatched the thing off the ceiling, wrapped her around like a bow. And then it was just like, it was always so much aggression with our battles. I mean,
I don't think I've ever seen a Butch Queen Face battle like what we presented.
no, we almost came to blows. Like, people used to be surprised that we didn't fight. Like, it would get, like, that bad. And then even when I think back to, like, the Milan Ball, walking face performance, and Jamal both being our father, we used to like be in Jersey practicing in his house, playing house, you know, to perform, making performing and dipping all over the place. And then we had the battle again that same night of face performance, and I won over Meah. And it was like, for a while, it was almost like Meah couldn't get me, but then she got me at the New York Awards Ball. And I think that was like right before you transitioned.
That was one of my last balls.
That was like your last ball, and I'll never forget it because I had this big curly hair and you had the white hair, and it was like, you know, Jack was basically like, you know, well, this rivalry still continues, like, and she got me. And I remember I was tight only because
the last time she got me, she snapped in my face. So when I got the awards ball, I gave her a whoa and walked out.
and she walked out. Yeah, that was it. But yeah, it was a lot of memories and moments created, you know, between the two of us. And
I mean, definitely with us, I think, even just going to Detroit, our drives, we had a lot of personal, intimate times with each other. So it just, I don't know, it brought us closer. Outside of ball.
Like, even though
in the ballroom,
it was so competitive with each other. Because even like the year that she got face of the year with me, I was tight. Because she had one more ball, but then I had one like more of the bigger balls. And then I had one over her a lot in that year. So I was like, how did she get face of the year? But, you know, that was still my sister. So I was just like, well, girl, you got it. All right, cool. Like, you know, no problem, whatever.
I think also we were two of the younger Butch Queen faces that were leaders in our houses. And I think we were just natural born leaders. I had an army of kids. Jason has army of kids. It was at one point where our kids were competing against each other. And our houses were like contenders for House of the Year. So Prodigies was always right up there for, contender, Aga, Mizrahi. And I had, Laomi, Shadira.
Oh, yeah, wow, yeah, how about that? Yeah. So, like, even our kids end up getting into intense battles.
It went through the bloodline.
Yeah, it did.
Mm-hmm. I think it was probably always. Okay. Go ahead. So I think it was always that I wanted to transition. It was one of the reasons why I was so stern upon all my girls, my Dee Dees, my Lolas, and even with Trace and just all the girls that were around me. I hid behind them, and I wanted them to be me and what I wanted to be. And I'm gonna tell Lola, this is how you're gonna go up. You're gonna stop at this point in the middle of the road. You're gonna stop. And you're gonna give them. You're gonna do. Making them do everything I wanted to do. It just one day I can't do this no more. I can't. It was a really hard decision because all these people looked at me as this masculine figure. I'm father. I'm in line to be the next overall father for the house of Mizrahi, and here I am just turning all that down to go transition. And I have to tell all my kids and all my family that what was the best time? that 5-year break, that 4.5-year break that I took from Ballroom, that was probably one of the best times in my life. I transitioned with straight boys, like dudes from my block, dudes from the hood. I had to teach them how to, I'm doing this and taking hormones. They like, oh, we finna grow titties. Like, what you doing? Like, what? We know you as white. Like, you might. What? We gotta call you who? Who you trying to be now? I'm like, Meah. It's gonna be she, her, and they were just like, and these boys took care of me like nobody else. They were like my new Ballroom house. Straight hood boys who are like gang members took care of me. So, I've been talking with certain people part of stuff. I was one of the people that helped, create with the House of Gorgeous Gucci. And so that was one of the main things that I was adamant about coming back and being the overall mother of the House of Gorgeous Gucci, along with my daughter, Lola. And hence the fact that they're the two overall fathers. We're supposed to be in line two overall mothers for the House of Gorgeous Gucci. That whole time, we're talking, but they understood my patience, they understood my time, and I told them, I don't have any surgeries. I'm still moaning. I want to come back with a little bit of surgery on the face, a little facial femme. I want to do that before I come back. And they understood. And yeah.
But they understood, but you didn't go there. Why?
So I didn't go to the House of Gorgeous Gucci because it was one personal issue that I had with someone. So that night at the awards when we were trying to push, child, I was just there like, oh my God, this is my first time and these people embracing me as a female figure in Ballroom. So it's a whole new ball game now. Coming out as a butch queen and for butch queen face, it's, you're not in heels, you're not in corsets, you're not in a fire, you're not in, bras, you don't got all this stuff going on. And, on that stage, I was just like so nervous. And you had me panicking and you're like, come on, girl, you're going to go out there. And I'm just like, oh my God, child, what if I trip? What if I flip my hair and the wig come off to the side? I did. You know what I'm saying? So it was very nerve-wracking, but it was also a surreal moment. Like, wow, I'm really back here. And it felt good. I did feel that pressure. I do feel that pressure. And I feel like I have to bring it even more. Even first time I came out, which was in Miami, I wasn't even supposed to come out at that ball, but everyone's like, oh, you just need to come out already, get it over with, come out, we just want you to come out, and then after that, I still hadn't even had facial feminization at that ball, and I just got surgery, I'm still healing, and yeah, so.
It's funny because I remember when the rumors had started that she was transitioning, we had stopped speaking for a while, like you just kind of went dark on everybody, and then when I finally started seeing pictures, because I found your Instagram, and I was like, wait a minute. So I sent her a DM and we exchanged phone numbers and we ended up talking on FaceTime. So a lot of I hope you don't mind if I share this, but a lot of times when she was going through her transition, there was not a lot of people there that was her family for her to talk to. It was kind of like she was left to she was kind of isolated on the island. She was by herself. She didn't have people, and it's crazy because she was such a prolific and loved butch queen face, but then when she transitioned to Meah, it was almost like, oh, you about to be a girl? Oh no, never mind, I'm going over here, and you sit over there. So I remember we had these deep conversations about how she kind of felt isolated and how she kind of nobody was calling and checking on her, nobody really was interested, nobody really cared. So it meant a lot because though we may have had these intense battles on the floor, Meah was my sister, that's my little sister, you know what I'm saying, we've shared a lot of things over the years, and it was really important for me to try to peek in as much as she will allow me to in those moments to just kind of be present for her and just show up for her. So it meant a lot to me.
I do. I'm a whole different gender now. I'm a female figure. I'm an overall king mother to our house now.
She just had to be like me, Sean. She just had to be like me.
You were just king mother, girl.
No, I was the overall founding king mother. I was the king mother started because of me. It wasn't no king.
Well, I didn't even know no one knew you had that.
Everybody knew I had the entire job.
I didn't know. So for me, it was something in my house. There was multiple titles in the house that I'm in now for me that were, presented to me. But the one that stuck out was The Woman King was coming out, the movie with Viola Davis. And he was just like, wait, hold on. I was Michael Falls all I was like, it's like, okay, this is making more sense for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would I don't want to come back and be another overall mother with the rest of the overall mothers. I was like, I need to come back and be something different. What femme queen don't have this title or what title? And I dug into it and it's like, King Mother. Like, that's me. It defines who I am in Ballroom. So that's why I'm the overall King Mother. I'm gonna give my flowers to all of them because it's so hard to come out nowadays with all this judgment and social media. They got to deal with Instagram. They got to deal with Twitter. They got to deal with there's a lot now that these newer generation kids have to deal with. So I want to give my flowers to all of them for being so strong-minded and willing to even give your all and just give your presentation out there to people, because I watch how they come out and everyone watching them, the critiques that they get and how they come at them. I see these comments on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So I want to give my flowers out to all of them. Thank you for keeping our category alive and keeping it going. Thank you.
I feel like it's starting to come back. Selling it, like the antics, the attitude, the battle, the shade. Once you get tens, all right, you got face. How are you going to complete the story? Thinking back to our battles, thinking back to Zarek and Josh's battles, that level of commitment, the people were invested in, oh, bitch, Zarek's here. Oh, bitch, Josh is here. Oh, JACEN here, child. Where me at? You know what I'm saying? Like, the investment to that, I feel like that's coming back. Yeah, it just has an interesting way of kind of coming back around. I feel like it's coming back around now, where for a second, Witch Queen Babe kind of died. It was just it was a snooze, but I was bored. I got tired of seeing everybody look up to the ceiling and be like, girl, what's up there? Or licking their teeth. It was just all right, enough, enough. I also think that, though we are in the era of enhancements and makeup, and, I've been known for years to wear makeup, so it's not that I have a problem with it, but my issue that I have with people that wear it now is it's a fine line between grooming and too much. And, as a makeup artist, because Ballroom actually helped cultivate me as a makeup artist, me as even a makeup artist, I just feel like it's too much, and just know when to scale back some. You don't have to look like you're walking drag face with a Caesar. It's chill, ease up some. When you're in the mirror, make sure you got your HD light bulbs. Make sure it's a daytime light bulb so that you can see what you're doing, because sometimes you be in that mirror in the bathroom and you're painting and it looks one way in that light, then when you step out of that light and you go to a low-level ballroom light, it's a whole different situation. So yeah, that's pretty much all. Just kind of scale back a little bit for me.
I would say for me would be the anticipation. I feel like at once upon a time when we were all out, there was an anticipation for Witch Queen Face. People wanted to, Zarek is here, see Josh walking, Ruben, Jeremy, me, you. At that time where it was just it was always anticipation for our category. I feel like right now they're getting there. You just said if they're getting there, they're bringing it back. And So I remember for me, it was just, I was told when I coming into Ballroom, oh, you're not going to win much because of just your image. I was like, what? And I was like, yeah, they don't really give the light-skinned girls their flowers. Then we're not going to win a lot. And I was just like, I don't care if I still bring it. What you mean? I'm still coming. And then, I still did. That's why I walk unpainted, wash face. And I got one of the rulers for unpainted face, which was Jeremy. So that, for me, coming into Ballroom, I arrived. That was one of my arrived head points. When I beat Jerry Revlon, who was the face at the time, unpainted, never painted. And then I come in and everyone telling me I couldn't do it, and I did it. With no politics, nothing. Nobody on the panel.
What's the one looking back that you'd be like, I tried it?
Well, I would say it would have to be the PLCC ball when I came in that blonde hair and the white with the red. I feel like I looked crazy. And I looked orange. And the way God read me, I should have. because I look like a tangerine. So white cloth on. I feel like at that time, I felt like, you know, I was just going off of like what was happening in the scene. And I think makeup was just becoming a thing.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was using the wrong foundations, and MAC foundations at the time were oxidized after like 2-3 hours. So remember, we're at balls, we get in 10, 11, 12, painted face. Within 3-4 hours, we still not having even warm. It's 4 o'clock in the morning, and my face is already oily, orange, from the oxidation, and there you go.
Like, I know for me, if I could go back in the hand of the time, I would have never walked Stewart's Ball when it was Butch Queen Face with a twist and you had to get in drags. A pickle.
I feel you always wanted to do that.
I did. Look, it was a pickle. Like, he pickled. I didn't always want to do it. I did. But I think that, like, for me, even in that moment,
I still think you do.
No, never. Nah. Another one too was good. You can have it. I got back problems. For me, like, looking back at that category, like, I never, even though I did want to get in drag to see what it was like, but it was kind of scary to see myself in that way. Because, like, I remember I was standing upstairs getting ready to come down this oversized, stupid dress, and I had probably all this damn hair. Like, you know, shout out to the girls, because it's a lot to be a girl, and I just ain't that type of, like, I can't do it. But I remember looking at myself in the mirror, and I was just like, who the hell is this? And even when, like, Caesar and Kelly had saw me at the car, they was like, bitch, that ain't JACEN. Like, what? So, yeah, like, that was my ballroom flipsy.
The advice that I would give to that would probably have to be just be patient with yourself. Be truthful with yourself, and just do things on your own pace, on your own time, whenever you're ready. You know, I felt like I've always wanted to do this, but I wasn't ready. You know, I hid behind my girls, my dolls, and their victory was my victory. And so for years, it was just celebrating through them. And I finally built up the courage to just say, you know what, I'm finna go to the beauty supply store and buy me a wig, buy me some clip-on nails, and I'm gonna feel what it, you know, what I really want to feel like. And I started to do that. And in my little Bronx apartment, I would just be there by myself. And like, I would find this happiness by myself. And it was just one of the best experiences for me, just being alone in the Bronx apartment and just making it do what it do, and just working a successful job and just making my money. I think being alone helped me so much to answer my own questions. I think for so many years I was always around everybody, and all of us were always around our kids and trying to help this person be there and walk this ball and be that girl and be that or that boy, that you just kind of lose yourself. And so stepping away from everybody, everyone that I knew, I stepped away from. Not one person I brought with me into my transition. Not Jack, not Lola, not JACEN, not nobody. I just did it on my own. Not even my mother. My mother told me, you could be a bitch whenever you want, when I die. My mother told me that. You know what I'm saying? And I had to take that, you know, and she came back though. She came around, and it's one of my biggest supporters as my mom, you know? And so I think just being alone and taking the time for myself and finding myself was the best space that I can reach and ask for. So I think for these new girls, I think, or for anyone just thinking about it, doesn't matter if it's you're in ballroom or not in ballroom. You know, I think it's just, if it's something you want to do. And one of my inspirations was Caitlyn Jenner. I think seeing her be someone 64 years old, I think at the time, saying that she wants to transition with a whole family of kids. I was like, wow, that takes a lot of strength to be in a public media like that. And then that was my moment right there, where I was just like, you know, I got to do this. And when I did it, it felt great. I think what Ryan said earlier in his thing was, you know, he loves to come out in suits, and that's his thing. But people are telling him to do other things because he's got to keep up with certain trends. But I would say, you know, just continue to do your thing. You know, if that's what you feel comfort in, that is what's separating you from everyone else, is the fact that you're coming out masculine in suits all the time because no one else is doing it consistently, versus the kids who are coming out with full faces of makeup or surgeries. You know, that's your aesthetic. Stick to your aesthetic, stick to your, you know, your profession, what you do best.
Makes me think about Jaden, because like there was nights that like we would be beat, zooted and tooted, colored, sculpted, brow, all that. And Jaden will come out with a suit on and wipe everybody out. We'd be looking like, but he looks so regular. But
Yeah.
but
And that was around the time that I stopped being,
extremely masculine shit.
and I stopped wearing my, and then here I am, I got stabbed by, you know, a guy with a whole suit on, with, you know, paint on. But I beat him prior to, with a suit on, and over. I think what's lacking from us is that the scaredness of our legendary status or our iconic status being challenged by a new girl, or us losing to a new girl, or feeling like, oh, we're just gonna lose consistently because this new bitch is fitting. You know what I mean? I think we should go out there, and that's what it's about. It's about putting your best on that floor and turning it out for Ballroom, not just for yourself. When we hit that floor, we are hitting it for Ballroom. We're representation for all of us. You know, the way I bring it is a representation of you, everybody. So I think not being scared, and I had to find that in myself. Even though they were like, Meah, you know, I think you're ready. I was like, no, I'm not ready. I don't have no surgeries. These girls are out here with facial feminization and all their bodies are new. I'm like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it, and I did it.
It's funny to piggyback off that, because like for me, I think the last time that I put a lot of effort into walking was the Mugler ball, when it was for the $10,000. And in that moment, it's different when you get a certain age. Like I just turned 40 and I've been walking face since I was 16. And to be in your mid 30s, because the Mugler ball was like 2020. I forget when it was. It was like 2018, something like that. 2019. In my mind, I can't fathom spending that much money for a category ever again. It's not happening. Like it's just not. And like that's why, like, even to that point, I've always shied away from walking the big grand prize categories, because like I didn't walk that night when me and you talked about it. I was supposed to walk for the 5, backed out, didn't do it, because I know where my mind goes. I know how much money I would spend. I just don't see spending that. But I think for us, it is time that we get busy. Like it's time that, like, I know one time we had made a pact at a ball. It was like, all right, if you gonna walk, I'm gonna walk, and we all said it, but then we didn't follow through. And I think that a lot of times it's the blind leading the blind, but none of us in here are blind. You know what I'm saying? We're still present. We're still here. So them seeing us walk and us have fun, win, lose, or draw, will make them be like, oh, all right, well, if Jason's there, and Exotic, and Ryu, and Chipper, and, you know, Emery, you know, Jeremy, and all of them can get out there, and they still battling. Like, even if it's something that we just do one night, like I would love to see a category where it's like a one night only, and like, erase the status, throw it in the trash. We walk in as ourselves, and we just go, even if it means we got to battle Ryan. Hey, little girl. Like, you know, because they don't have that same type of, like, they wouldn't even understand what to do with one of us. And it's very few of us that can pull that energy out of it, because, like, you know, Noah left, but when I had to battle Noah at the Duran Corey Awards ball, like, in the back of my mind, I was like, oh, she just ran through one of the prodigies. Oh, she's not getting me. Like, it's not happening. But it activated that old girl that's in there. But like, it takes somebody else to pull it out. Like, I haven't had a battle like that since being your battle. Like, I'm not, even when I battled the one time the man Exotic had crossed past the blinding ball in Philly, I kind of was gagging because, like, he was so ready for me. So it just let me know, like, oh, bitch, you studied. Like, you did your research. You knew what I was going to do when I hit the floor. So, like, the energy level was matched. Like, we have to be better at getting back on the floor and getting out there. That's what I think.
Yeah, like for me, having someone like Jason and Josh was somebody that, like, me and Tony had our always, run Tony Millar. And, Tony had brought Josh to Virginia for me.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that everyone knew that. Everyone knew Josh was there for me. And it was like, all right, it's Josh and my type. And it's exactly what happened. And after I clean swiped Josh, it was just like, oh shit, I beat Josh. So it was like, that was like a moment for me where I was so ready. But I was ready because of just watching Josh and everything he did. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get her. I know how to get her. And I was so ready for her that night. And Tony, and that was a moment that just having Josh there to even walk it boosted me to a whole nother level. So I feel like when you're saying them having us out there on that runway will help the new generation.
And it's funny because when I think back to like that statement alone, for a long time, I used to not understand my placement. And I would have these conversations with Chipper because I was at the end, the end and the beginning of the blue era into the black era. So when I came out, it was Hershey, it was Cayenne, it was Lisa, it was Chicken, it was Christian was still walking. Like, you know, it was that era. So then I disappeared for a little bit, came back. It was the Zareks, the Joshes, the Jeremys of the era. It kept going. So I had to still be able to walk against them, walk against y'all. Then when all of y'all stopped walking, here come Emery, here come Sky, here come, you know, I had to keep going. So then by the time I'm looking at it, I'm like, yeah, let me sit my old ass down because and just for transparency, once Carlos beat me at the move level, I said, oh girl, never again. Like, yeah. I was just like, never again. But see, I was your elder then still. And you should have lost. He looked fierce. I was voting for a lot of reasons because I remember like my early strides and Caesar was there because when I first got voted in the House of Ebony, when I left the House of Prestige, they didn't see me walk in this category. And like, they just didn't see it. And, you know, even me walking early on, like, trying to find my footing, trying to find the balance, trying to find this and always like paying it forward and being present for people that wasn't present for me. Cause I didn't have nobody teach me this. I had to like figure shit out on my own. And even when I heard you just say like, Zarek, like, you know, to be still present and still to keep the thing going, but I always felt like it was so important because it was always so much shade in the face category. And a lot of us used to have these personal connections and personal relationships, and I valued that despite the fact of how they would pin us against each other, or you can't speak to her because she walks your category, or we'll be in the club and like, bitch, it'd be a barricade around you, it'd be a barricade around me, it'd be a barricade around Derek, and a barricade around Josh, and we all like just throwing it for no reason, and it created so much animosity amongst us for nothing. And then years go past and we look back at this crap as we get older and kind of a more sane in our thoughts, and we're like, well, then what did we get all that for? Mm-hmm. So for me, it was just important, and I thank you again, Caesar, for allowing, you know, me to have this opportunity to bring all of us together. Like, it's so much bigger than me, and like, I just hope that this further encourages you guys to pay it forward, like how somebody paid important to you, because believe it or not, like, y'all's presence is so important. Because, like, you know, I even heard Ryu say when I talked to him earlier on the phone, and sorry for putting you in the spot, like, I don't want y'all to feel like y'all are being erased, because they will erase you. They will act like it never happened. They will, you know, move on to the next thing. And I think that it's important while y'all are still here to be present and to show up and to show out and to give back and to pay it forward. Now, a lot of times we were doing this stuff young. Like, you know, Ryu, you were mother of the House of Aphrodite at a very young age. You ushered in Joelle, little Ira, and Sammy, and Madison before she transitioned. And you created a faith army. You know, same thing with you. Like, same thing with me and Prodigy. Like, at the time, same thing with, like, Zarek, with Zion. So it was like we've been doing so much. I just think that it's important that we just continue the legacy so that the category doesn't just become something that it's not. And then we old and gray at home, 65 years old, watching YouTube, reading about what they're doing now. You know, yeah, we just got to just be present. So again, I thank you. And, like, that's all I have to say.